Special guest, Mr. Osman Gono, an IELTS teacher, to deliver a speech on the importance of writing and its impact on personal and professional growth.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to recite some of the verses from Holy Quran. That is, the first verse: "Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, khalaqal insana." That's it. So, I wouldn't like to go further like khalaqal insana min 'alaq. So this is the first line that we got the message from our Creator, our God. So the message is clear. The God is giving the message, first of all, if you would like to step forward, you need to achieve knowledge. So this is a gathering who are quite enthusiastic, I believe, towards knowledge. For that reason, people have come here and supporting and showing their enthusiasm towards any particular writer. So the reason I have started with a verse from Quran, I always wanted to give you the message that is, I think we all need to gain knowledge. Whoever, wherever we are, in any situation, we can say that, and people say that, you are persecuted from your own land. Right? It's quite pathetic. The term is also itself pathetic. You have been persecuted. But still, I should look ahead to gain knowledge. Here is an example I would like to mention. I have been teaching for last 8 years, and many of my students, they are residing in different countries like USA, UK, Canada, and Philippines. So one example just I would like to bring here today, the nations of Philippines. Probably you know that it is an islandic country. Philippines is a scattered country, just islandic, like our Saint Martin in Bangladesh. So I used to teach a bunch of students from Philippines. So whenever I asked them, what about your culture? What about your letters? What about your language? Because I know that if you do not have your own culture, that means day by day you are just leaving behind your root. You have been uprooted from your own root. So whenever I asked them, what about your culture and language? They told me that. And the student was aged like 25. He was 25, a graduate student. And he was saying that, sir, we used to have our own letters, our own alphabet. But currently, we are not aware of that. By the passage of time, we have lost those items. So now, how do you express yourself? That was my second question. And he replied with that, now we express through English alphabet, but the language is Philippines. Through English letters, but the language is Philippines. Look how dependent they have totally lost their alphabet and letters. because they did not practice, they did not take initiative to protect that. Probably at the early age of their time, they were unable to understand the importance of culture. But you people have your own culture still. I see. We also encourage you to practice that. Even we practice at our office. For example, we have written office room. At the door of our office room, we write office room. But below that, we also translate it into Rohingya language. Because we encourage you to hold your own culture. So, Kamal, he is my student. He missed one of his class with me last week. At that time, we have been shifted to our new center. So what do? I will be coming to that a bit later. So I shifted that center last week, and there I tried to put on some kinds of cloth that is related to your culture. For example, I wore a lungi and a shirt. So that was quite interesting to me, that as I have been teaching here Rohingya students, why shouldn't I hold their culture? I think I should encourage them by following their culture, because I understand the importance of culture. The people of France, they understand the importance of culture. The people of English-speaking country, they understand the importance of culture. For that reason, this is the result of that, because they are successfully spread their language. They have done it successfully. For that reason, you have written it into English. You are Rohingya, you have your own culture. Why don't you initiate it to translate it into your own language? Why didn't you initiate first of all to write it into your own language? Why have you written it just at the very beginning into English? Because you are influenced. You are influenced by those people who are trying to spread their own culture over others. But I'm not saying that, I'm not criticizing that writing English, writing a book in English, that is not something very bad. I'm not saying that. It is exceptionally good thing. But the step should have been, first of all, you should write it into your own language, then you could go for translation into English. That could have been great step, and yeah, it could have been remarkably excellent. Alright. And now, that was the intro of my speech, and first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Osman Gono, and Kurja is my nickname. So, I have completed my graduation in English language and literature. I myself studied English language and literature. So we have studied the language, the literature from French, the Arabic literature, and literature from different countries like French and Greek. We have studied this. And after studying this English language, I have concentrated on teaching English language. Look at. So I have started teaching English language. I've been teaching basically for the last 8 years. And first of all, I started teaching Bengali. But the people in Bangladesh, they pay too low. They pay too low for teaching Bengali. Look at the culture. It's our own language, Bengali. They pay too low for teaching Bengali. But whenever I started teaching English, they started paying me higher. This is people interest. So, still, to earn my livelihood, I have been teaching English. And for last 8 years, I used to teach in Dhaka city. But for last couple of months, for last 3 months actually, I have been shifted here. I have decided to serve those people who are deprived of their basic rights. I have decided to do that. As I have been teaching English, so now I was trying to think like these. Oh, one thing here I forgot to mention. I reside here in Cox's Bazar, so I'm the host, right? We have been facilitating you to reside here, so we know the sufferings of the people who have been here, or who are here, or who are the victim of incidents. So we know the culture, we know the scenario. So as a person from Cox's Bazar, I have decided myself to serve those people who are deprived of their basic rights, human rights. According to that plan, for the last 3 years, in association with BRAC and UNHCR, we have started teaching IELTS, International English Language Testing System, in Camp 15. We have started. So our aim is to empower you. How can we empower you? First of all, the students we are sourcing from, they are already skilled in different trades. Trades like plumbing, trades like solar and electric. So they have completed a 6 months course on these 3 modules. After that, the second step is learning English language. So after learning this English language, we and UNHCR, they have a plan to help them settle in Europe as a worker. Hopefully, that will help initially to eradicate their poverty. This is the plan. So I would like to urge you, probably you may also have interest to learn English language. You can consult me, you can visit my office that is in Camp 15. But the first criteria is you need to do any one skills, whatever I have mentioned from those 3. Okay, that's all about my professional life, what I've been doing to serve the Rohingya nation, what I'm doing here. And at the same time, I would request you to help me as well. If you help me, hopefully the path, what I have started newly here, it will be a bit smooth for me. And now, let's come back to the discussion. So the book, I have also published some of the poems. I'm a big fan of John Milton. Once upon a time, I asked Kamal, who is your favorite poet? So Kamal said to me that John Milton is his favorite poet. At the same time, when we both clicked on the same thing, so yeah, I was really happy to see him that John Milton was also his favorite poet. Okay, last thing, the moral of the speech that I want to convey to you is that please try to hold your own culture and own language. That is the first thing. If you don't like to lose yourself in darkness, that is the first criteria to concentrate on. And lastly, I would like to recite a poem that is written by William Shakespeare, one of my favorite poems. Sonnet 18, probably many of you have gone through that poem. So I would like to go through that poem. Hopefully, it will give you a message that William tried to give towards his audience. Let's start. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling birds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou wast, nor shall death bright thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So here, that two couplet, the last couplet, what has been written by Shakespeare, here is a message that so long as man can breathe or eyes can see, I believe Rohingya culture will be here in the earth. So long man can breathe. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.